Hello, this is Scarlett, Alive and Well Acupuncture. I wanted to make a short video about one of the patterns that I see in my clinic that's the most common pattern that I see. And this happens because of stress. So we all talk about being in stress and what stress can do. So here's the interesting thing that I notice. Excuse me. When people are under stress for periods of time, it changes the brain waves where they'll move out of theta and they'll move into a beta brainwave. And what this means is they'll ruminate, they'll overthink, they'll be thinking about the same thing. They won't find a solution or have the ability to confront. When this goes on for a long time, it disturbs the body in many ways, because as this mental dynamic goes on, it affects the body neurologically, which then affects the next domino, which is a neurotransmitter in one of the lobes of the brain called GABA, which is an acronym for a form of neurotransmitter, which is gamma-aminobutyric acid. But what happens is that when this becomes low, it affects the physiology of the body in a lot of ways. Cardiovascular issues, and blood pressure, insomnia. But what also happens is that when a person is under stress for a long time, affecting this neurotransmitter, you also have additional voltage that comes out of a nerve here called the vagus nerve, and it affects this fuse box or this nerve plexus ganglia over the digestive tract. And as that voltage goes on for days and weeks and months, you affect the digestive system. And this is how people make malabsorption and dysbiosis and leaky gut syndrome. Problem with that is when you're leaking undigested protein particles of food into the bloodstream, you affect cellular metabolism, so fatigue sets in. You create more inflammation in the body, which creates more malfunctioning of organs and systems, because again, you can't affect one system without affecting other systems. Affect the digestive system, you might affect the immune system or the hormone system. But again, as you're making lower energy and more inflammation because of this, this starts to really make the person feel ill and create a lot of symptoms. This is what's behind as a causative dynamic of many, many diseases. And I see this over and over again in my clinic. So this is why the acupuncture is so effective, to help bring down the neurological overstimulation that people have and settle that down and calm the mind chatter. Then there's supplements and food choices that can be used to bring up the GABA, so you help the rumination and the angst and the worry. And then find out what's needed for the digestive tract, depending on the stage of aberration that's there, in order to stop leaking into the bloodstream and affecting and creating other kinds of diseases. So this is definitely addressable. I see this day in and day out at my clinic. This is a very common pattern, and there's ways to address this. So it's something I wanted to share about what happens. Again, the mental stress affecting the nervous system, affecting the neurotransmitter, which then can affect the digestive system, which can create all kinds of illnesses. So consider using acupuncture, possibly Chinese herbs or natural remedies to help with the other factors, and get this handled so that you or someone that you know that might have this going on can live the kind of life that they were here to live and be addressing bigger issues, not just fighting their own health issue from day in and day out. Scarlett, Alive and Well Acupuncture.